They put Pat too far. You look like you should have put Pat over here. You got the surviving things over there, okay. And I feel like I'm really low. Okay, everybody ready? Ready? Okay. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everybody to our March 16th, 2023 Cone Joint Unified School District Board of Education meeting. And we have a really nice group today, so that makes it pleasant for us as well. At this time, I'd like to recognize that we are missing 3 board members. We're missing Ms. Sandoval, Mr. Flores, and our president, Joanne Thorin Ojeda. And I'm Frank Ibarra. I'm the vice president, and I will be presiding today's meeting. At this time, I'd like to take the opportunity to have our administrative assistant to our superintendent, Mrs. Medina, to do the roll call, please.
Mrs. Harum? Mr. Fuentes?
Here.
Mrs. Flores?
Present.
Mr. Ibarra?
Present. Thank you, Joanne. At this time, I would like everyone to please rise, and I would like to ask Mrs. Bertha Flores to please lead us in the flag salute.
Hand over your heart.
States of America, to the stands, the God, with liberty. Thank you very much, Bertha. And I'd like just to make an announcement. We do have an interpreter here today. I believe is Miss Bueno. And if you could please come up to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Ibarra. Good evening, everybody. Muy buenas tardes a todos. Yo soy Cintia Bueno, recepcionista y traductora del distrito. Esta noche estaremos proporcionando servicios de intérprete. Si alguien desea escuchar la reunión simultáneamente en español, yo me encuentro en la mesa trasera y le puedo prestar un dispositivo para que la escuche al mismo tiempo. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you very much. Now, one of the questions I have to begin is, how's everybody doing today? I don't know about me, but I know I missed that 1 hour of extra sleep. And come Thursday, I'm about feeling it toward the end of the day. So I don't know if any of you feel that way, but I'm hoping that this weekend I'll catch up to my sleep. With that being said, I'd like to take the opportunity to recognize item 1.3, which is the adoption of March 16, 2023 agenda. There are certain amended closed session items, which is 10.2 personnel, public employee. There's an addition of 3 classified coaches, band, co-ed, head junior varsity softball boys, head varsity volleyball boys, addition of 2 volunteer coaches, softball girls, track, co-ed, and an addition of 35 general volunteers. With that said, I'd like to ask for a motion to adopt the agenda, please.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Motion by Mrs. Haro and second by Mr. Fuentes. At this time, are there any questions, comments, or concerns relative to the adopted agenda? Not hearing any. All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Anybody oppose, abstain? At this time, we're looking at 4-0. The item passes. Joanne. Now, one of our highlights of our board meetings is always when we have student visitors from our high schools. Today, we have the pleasure of recognizing and welcoming Grand Terrace High School. And if you would please, the podium's all yours. Yes, sir.
Good evening, board, Dr. Miranda, executive cabinet, community. First, I'd like to say a big thank you and how grateful I am to be part of Colton Joint. Recently, we went through WASC, and it was my first time going through, and I felt supported and never was worried at all how great we did, because we had our board, our executive cabinet come out, and Dr. Mooney, I want to say a big thank you for them for doing it, and also our board, because the chairperson of the board of our committee actually came out and said how lucky I was. She had been on many visits, and how lucky I was to get that district support. So I definitely want to say a big thank you to everyone, because without your support and also coming out, our staff and I appreciate it. So thank you. With that being said, good evening. I'd like to introduce our ASB presenters, our ASB president, Kona Lascano, and our ASB president, Vice President Alexa Rodriguez, to present our student showcase.
Good evening, Board President Joanne Thoring Ojeda, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. My name is Kekona Lascano. I'm a senior and this year's ASB president.
Good evening. My name is Alexa. I'm a junior and this year's ASB's vice president, and we are here to proudly present to you our Grand Terrace High School showcase in the form of a highlight video, followed by a slide of our upcoming events. So we hope you enjoy.
Things have been really busy here in Titantown.
Here are some of our highlights since our last presentation in September.
We will begin with academics. We've hosted 2 academic awards ceremonies since our last showcase, one on September 15th and another on February 23rd. Approximately 900 students were recognized at each ceremony for their academic achievements. Following the ceremony, families were encouraged to take photos and celebrate with their Titan scholars. In January, GTHS received a trophy for being the top participating high school in the CJUSD 35th Annual Science and Engineering Fair. Denaya Figueroa and Priscilla Munoz, pictured here, captured the sweepstakes award for their senior division with their group project titled Color and Object Detection Glove for the Blind. We've had several seniors commit to colleges for athletics, including Andrea Starr-Cortez, playing softball for North Dakota State University, and Devin Gusta to UC Davis to play football. Earlier today, we hosted a special commitment ceremony for GTHS senior Samantha Heredia, who's receiving a full-ride scholarship to Stanford. At the beginning of March, GTHS had a WASC accreditation visit. The visiting team identified our areas of strength and areas for growth.
Our RSP teachers are co-teaching with our general ed teachers. We are wrapping up LPAC testing and are ready of our level 4 from last year. All but one has met their assessment criteria or in the process of doing so.
Earlier this school year, our Art Pathway students had the honor and privilege of painting the district's Unity Bus. Art Pathway students also painted Chalk College logos in our amphitheater and recently hosted an art gallery showcasing artwork by our talented students. Our Care Pathway students hosted 2 blood drives this year, one on November 7th and the other on January 26th.
Students in our engineering pathway showcased their animatronics projects during our Halloween lunchtime festivities. Students also participated in the Engineering Disney Youth Education Series program at Disneyland, where they learned how science and technology are used to create some of the theme park's iconic attractions. On September 23rd, our GTHS choir program hosted their annual coffee house concert in a cafeteria, and on December 9th, they hosted their holiday concert in our theater. On November 18th and 19th, our thespians presented Alice's Adventures in Wonderland in our auditorium. Madame Green's French classes visited offices and classrooms singing holiday carols in French. Our marching band had a great season, and our color guard team earned first place at their first competitive outing this year.
We've had several league champion teams this year so far. Volleyball, football, girls cross country for the first time in GTHS history, and wrestling. Both our varsity and JV Titan Pep squad ended their season with first place overall, and most enthusiastic at their state championships hosted at Knott's Berry Farm.
On September 16th, the Multicultural Club, in collaboration with ASB, kicked off National Hispanic Heritage Month with a live banda and free agua frescas. On September 29th, ASB hosted an all-school luau, which included free lays for every student, live Polynesian dancers in our amphitheater with audience participation, various food booths, and games. As part of Hispanic Heritage Month, ASB students painted giant loteria playing cards and hosted massive games of loteria in the amphitheater during both lunches for prizes. Participating students also treated to free pan dulce and agua frescas to immerse them in the cultural experience. As part of our campus Dia de los Muertos festivities, our ASB students constructed a beautiful campus community ofrenda in our library. Students and staff were invited and encouraged to add photos of their own loved ones. In addition to the ofrenda, ASB students created a memory wall for students and staff to share personal messages and memories, and a monarch butterfly photo op to connect and engage students in our campus. During lunchtime on Dia de los Muertos, we had GTHS student performances in our amphitheater, including music and dancing. Carrot Pathway students painted faces and clubs provided food items. On February 28th, BSU hosted their annual showcase. The theme was Family Reunion and future student performances, free food, face painting, Black History trivia for prizes, a photo booth, Just Dance, poetry, historic artifacts, and more. It was a great event. Many positive memories were made and people and culture were celebrated.
The happiest homecoming on earth was the theme of our magical 10-year homecoming anniversary in the fall. Festivities included a week of spirit dress-up days, our Disney-themed homecoming stadium rally where we provided Mickey ears to the entire student body and staff, presented our Royal Homecoming Court, had a special pre-show at our football game for our male court members, and ended the evening with our homecoming game. All of our past homecoming kings and queens were invited back to take part in our 10-year anniversary and to help crown the homecoming princesses and queen. Fireworks ended the halftime show to celebrate our 10-year milestone. Nearly 1,000 students, guests, and chaperones were in attendance at our homecoming dance. Our Disney-themed dance wouldn't be complete without churros, Dole Whip, tacos, Cinderella horse carriage rides, and more. It was a great night in Titantown. In October, ASB hosted lunchtime activities to raise awareness for breast cancer. Free pink cotton candy and pink lemonade were given out to students who wore pink. On November 12th, a bus full of energetic Key Club members attended their annual fall rally at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Key Club members from all over Southern California joined together to cheer on their districts, auction off their lieutenants for charity, and celebrate their mission of community service. On Monday of Thanksgiving break, spirited GTHS ASB student leaders attended the 2022 Area F Cata Castle Student Conference at the Disneyland Hotel. GTHS ASB students presented at a workshop and attended dozens of leadership sessions, gathering ideas to bring back and share with our campus. On December 12th, ASB brought a winter wonderland to GTHS via artificial snow machines, inflatables, holiday music, and free hot cocoa for all students. Cheer performed, and some of our administrators and board member Israel Fuentes dressed up as an iconic holiday character to help brighten the spirits of our students. Graduation is quickly approaching. Our senior class took their traditional senior panoramic picture on our football field. On February 3rd, we had a medieval-themed winter sports rally in our stadium. Our winter formal court members were presented to the student body. Sports teams and athletes were recognized, and our dance group Timeless performed. We also had jousting class competition games and a human hamster ball soccer. The highlight of the rally was watching the staff play against students, despite the staff ultimately taking the win. Later that evening, we held our winter formal at the Ucamba Performing Arts Center. Students enjoyed a room full of games and a night of dancing. On Valentine's Day, GTHS Best Buddies hosted the District Best Buddies Valentine's Dance in our cafeteria. is a fun event filled with joy and laughter. ASB hosted a special Valentine's Day lunch on the lawn. Key Club hosted a marriage booth. ASB grams were sold and lawn games were played. On February 15th, we welcomed GTHS class of 2027 and their parents at incoming freshman night. Students and parents visited with teachers and learned about pathways and programs. They even had the opportunity to meet our principal and spin a wheel for Titan prizes. On February 16th, we welcomed the class of 2027 to Titantown for campus tours by Link Crew. A rally hosted by ASB featuring performances and games, and a panoramic photo in our stadium. On March 9th, ASB students visited Grand Terrace Elementary School as a part of the district's Read Across CJUSD program. ASB students made decorations and dressed the part. Some visiting ASB members were alumni of the school. They were excited to be reunited with their former teachers and had the opportunity to read to their classes.
Following our all-school luau on September 29th, our Titan Pep Squad hosted their annual Tiny Titans cheer performance during the halftime show at our football game. On November 2nd, ASB hosted a community movie night in our amphitheater. The movie was Coco. We also had food booths, vendors, and face painting. On December 1st, various programs joined the community of Grand Terrace for the annual tree lighting ceremony. Band, cheer, choir, and theater students participated.
Throughout the year, our counseling department, peer leadership, and wellness center collaborated to host mental health wellness Wednesday activities such as rock painting, ornament making, and free Valentine's Day cards. ASB made flower arrangements with donated flowers for counselors to show their appreciation for National Counselors Week.
In true Titan tradition, once again, staff and community members granted dozens of winter wishes for students on our campus. Before Semester 1 finals, our staff lounge was given a makeover by special staff elves. Our staff lounge now includes a free coffee bar available to all GTHS staff. It's always a good time when people come together to celebrate in Titan Town. Rounding out the first semester, our Titan staff held their traditional December staff luncheon, equipped with fake snow and delicious food. It was a fun-filled event for our teachers and staff.
Now we'd like to share with you our upcoming events.
But for now, remember to
Keep charging!
And now we're gonna present to you our upcoming events.
And all these events you're welcome to attend, by the way. So first, on April 15th, we have Senior Inspiration Night.
On April 21st, we have our Spring Sports Rally.
On April 22nd, we have our prom at the Disneyland Hotel Magic Kingdom Ballroom.
On May 12th, we have our Sadie's Dance.
On May 25th, we have our Senior Parade and Senior Sunset.
And finally, on May 31st, we have our graduation at our school, GTHS. It's our first time at our school.
On behalf of the students at Grand Terrace High School, thank you for your time. We welcome any comments and would be happy to answer any questions you may have.
First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you for attending our meeting and sharing all the wonderful highlights that happened at Grand Terrace High School. Our leadership at all our high schools is incredible. The principals at all our high schools, our directors of ASB, I mean, you know, they're all top-notched individuals. One of the things that I can't help but noticing is all the events that you shared with us today. It's exciting to know that our students have so much opportunities to engage and be part of Grand Terrace High School, in your case, on a daily basis. There's so much to offer. And you do it in such a way that it's just so inviting for everyone to participate. So I just want to commend both of you as our ASB leaders for the wonderful job that you have done during this period of time. And it's great. And I wish, this is one of the things I wish that a lot of our parents could see what all the programs offer at all three of our high schools so that they could also help encourage their children to participate for those who don't, because it's just an experience that, as we all know, 4 years goes so quickly. Your 4 years will go so quickly. And it's the memories that you'll take that you'll be able to grow upon as you move through college and your life. So once again, I just want to say thank you for that. And with that, I'd like to invite any board members who would like to make any comments. Pat?
Excuse me. Just very quickly, I want to thank you for your wonderful presentation. I want to thank you and your fellow students who are in ASB. You create the memories for the rest of the students in your school. So it's really amazing to see all the different things that you do. And I'm sure by seeing the attendance at the events that they appreciate that. And I also want to thank your ASB director, Marcos Ruiz, for all of the hard work he puts in, because I know it's not just done at school. I know it's after school, it's before school, it's on the weekends. So thank you to your director and also to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pat. Israel?
Thank you. Ladies, phenomenal presentation. I'm going to ditto what my colleagues said so we don't take that much time. But I've been at some of those events and I'm out there dancing too and ho, 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 and doing all these events. And it's exciting to see, like Ms. Harrell said, you guys make it happen. You guys make it happen. And when you have excitement like that, academics go up. And I congratulate you as ASB leaders. I want to thank Marcos Reese also, Principal Neighbors, your team, everyone at Grand Terrace for doing a phenomenal job, because I've been there and I've seen the amount of students that participate. They're eating tacos, cotton candy, you name it, agua fresca, and they're out there participating. For a young person to participate, man, sometimes you just got to pull them with the rope and get them out on stage. But a lot of these students, they're out there dancing and having fun. And that's great to do. That's great to do. And I could see the academics going way up when you have that morale. Congratulations. Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bertha.
Okay. Great presentation. Thank you for all the information and thank you for the updates. And I was jotting down the dates, so we'll be visiting your events. I also want to just let you know that the WASC visit is extremely important for every high school in California. And the visit from WASC only confirmed what we already knew, that you guys were awesome. And not only is it a beautiful building, but more importantly is who is inside the building, which is you, the students, your staff, the teachers. You all make Grand Terrace High School. So I've been through a lot of WASCs, and I was there Sunday because they're here 4 days. So I was there Sunday, and then I was there Wednesday for the readout, and they really were very impressed with what they saw. So congratulations, and enjoy the rest of your year, because it's going to come by fast. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bertha. And just one more thing I'd like to add. Being an ASB leader means a lot of work. But looking at the smiles on both of your faces tells me you enjoy this type of work. And that's what people strive for opportunities to have a career where you say in the morning, I'm happy to get up to go to work. So what you're doing is you're laying the foundation for both of yourselves for your future. And don't forget, when you start applying for colleges, use your experience here as part of your applications. ASB leaders, because college administrators take a really good look at individuals like yourselves. So don't forget that. For principal neighbors, want to offer our congratulations to you and your staff and your student body for an excellent WASC accreditation visit. The information that we received, the feedback we also received was tremendous. Just like my colleague said, we received the information for our superintendent, and he was as proud as he can be with that. So I just want, if you can, share that, how much appreciation, congratulations from the board, from a superintendent to all your staff. And we just want to thank you. So with that, let's give them a round of applause. Okay, let's go ahead and move on with our calendar here. We're looking at item 3.1, which is our elementary band presentation. At this time, I'd like to invite our director, Dr. Hyder, to introduce the band teachers. Thank you.
Good evening, Board Vice President, Mr. Ibarra, board members, and Superintendent Miranda. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our elementary band teachers who will be doing a special presentation tonight. Before I hand over, because they're doing the whole presentation, I just want to take a brief moment to share how wonderful it is to work with them. They are 4 amazing teachers. They are a dedicated bunch that crisscross the whole district to teach at all 18 elementary schools. They work hard to inspire and instruct all our elementary students, and they always think outside the box to make our elementary band program stronger and better. And we have tonight here Ms. Vanessa Duckworth, Ms. Jill Ivy, Ms. Olivia Barra, and Mr. Ethan Pipion.
Good evening, Vice President Ibarra, board members, Superintendent Miranda, and everyone in attendance here tonight. Thank you for letting us share our elementary band program with you. We prepared this presentation in honor of Music in Our Schools Month and wanted to give you an update about our elementary band program. My name is Vanessa Duckworth, and I teach at Crestmore, Grant, Grimes, and Zimmerman. Currently, we have 854 students in our entire elementary band program. Of these 854 students, 650 of them are participating in band because they were able to borrow an instrument from the school or from the district. The LCAP funds given to the elementary band program over the last few years have greatly increased the amount of instruments we have to loan to students. In 2018, we only had 94 instruments, but now we have 679 instruments to loan to families who could not otherwise participate in band or provide an instrument to their student. Combined, our elementary band teachers teach 126 band classes a week. In addition to these 126 classes, each teacher also teaches recorder classes in every 4th grade class at their school sites.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jill Ivy, and I teach at Bernie, Grand Terrace, McKinley, and Terrace View Elementary. The First Performance National Day of Celebration is celebrated annually on the 3rd Thursday of November. The purpose of this event is to honor and recognize the achievements of beginning band students and to help them discover the joy that comes along with performing for others. Our elementary band program has participated in this event for the last 3 years. This year, we chose to record every band class on Flipgrid and shared the videos with our students, their families, and the administrators and teachers at each of our sites.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia Vara, and I'm the band teacher at Coulee Ranch, Ritchie Canyon, Lincoln, Wilson, and Rogers. So I'm going to be talking about the County Honor Band. This year, Colton Joint Unified had 18 outstanding sixth grade band students participate in the San Bernardino County Elementary Honor Band. So these CJUSD students were nominated by their teachers for their work ethic, their attitude, and their skill. The students participated in 3 rigorous Saturday rehearsals, which culminated in a performance at the University of Redlands on February 11th in the Memorial Chapel. Our CJUSD students comprise approximately 20% of the elementary honor band.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Ethan Pipion, and I teach at DRC, Hooper Vista, Lewis, Smith, and Sycamore Hills Elementary School. Our annual District Festival of Bands was held on February 28th at Colton High School in the Ken Hubbs Gymnasium. This year, we had 165 elementary students participate. However, this number only represents the advanced band students in our elementary program. There are students who have been playing their instruments for 2 years. This event is an amazing opportunity for our students to watch the middle and high school bands perform and to get an idea of where they will be in the next few years.
Each year, the United States Marine Band sponsors Sousa's March Mania. This is a 31-day event where students listen to 2 pieces composed by John Philip Sousa each day and vote for their favorite. It gives students an opportunity to listen to very high-quality music and consider which piece they prefer. The Marine Band provides teachers with incentives to award to students who participate. This is the 2nd year that students in CJUSD have participated. This year, we had approximately 200 students participate in Sousa's March Mania.
Band Karate is a module designed by our elementary band team that provides an option for students to challenge themselves to grow independently as musicians. There are 9 belts that students can earn at their own pace over the course of the school year. The numbers on this slide represent the number of students that have earned each belt in Band Karate this year. Each belt requires students to demonstrate various sets of skills. Students demonstrate achievement of the skills required for each belt through a Google Forms test and a recorded performance on Flipgrid. Students who earn the initial 9 belts move up to the ninja level of Band Karate and are able to progress through an additional 9 belts.
Representatives from all arts disciplines offered in our district have been meeting with Armelin De La O from the California Arts Project and Dr. Mooney to create a CJUSD VAPA strategic plan. This plan is in its final draft, and we look forward to sharing it with you soon.
The next 18 slides that you'll see show details of our elementary band program at each elementary school. You can browse each slide for more data from each school site. Each slide features pictures of band students at that specific site.
On behalf of our elementary band team, thank you for your continued support of our district elementary band program and of all of our performing artists throughout the district. Please continue to celebrate Music in Our Schools Month with us on Twitter. Thank you for your time and happy Music in Our Schools Month.
I like to begin by saying thank you to each and every one of you for the wonderful job you do in providing something as special as music to all our students. It's a known fact that students who participate in music tend to have a higher knowledge of math as it relates to their academic abilities. And being a band person myself, I've always enjoyed not only being able to play. One of my last pieces was one of Sousa's marches. I remember that briefly. Um, and just the incredible motivation and encouragement that teachers like yourselves give our students. So I think that we, number one, are very fortunate to have each and every one of you teaching in our district. And I think our students are the real lucky ones. So thank you for that. Now, I'd like to hand the microphone over to my colleague, Pat Harrow, who has for years showed high support for the music and theater arts. Please, Pat.
Sorry. First of all, I started to cry when you were doing your presentation because 6, 7 years ago, we had a meeting with then Superintendent Almendarez and the band people, teachers. And we only had 2 teachers at the time, 2 elementary teachers. And we had middle school teachers teaching elementary, and it wasn't a conducive program to true learning music. And to hear how many students are participating now and having, that goal was 4 teachers. And it was a plan. I know that you, Mrs. Duckworth, and Ms. Curran worked tirelessly on to put together so that this could happen. And like I said, to see the number of students who are involved now, it's truly amazing. And it makes me really proud that we have been able to offer this to our students. As Mr. Ibarra said, it's a known fact that students who participate in the arts, it's all, I know we don't want it to be, but in education, it's all about test scores, unfortunately. But students who participate in the arts, music, dance, choir, band, all of them, everything, they continually prove that quote because they do test higher. I am so proud of what you're doing. I'm so happy to hear that we continue to grow this program. And I want to thank you for the presentation. And I look forward to seeing the VAPA strategic plan that you're working on with Ms. Della O, because I know that it's going, if it's anything like what you came up with last time, I know it's going to be amazing and it's going to be a wonderful, wonderful tool for our district and for all of our students. Thank you, please. Thank you so much for all you do.
Thank you, Pat. Bertha?
Yes, thank you for the presentation. And I am also looking forward to getting my hands on that strategic plan because I can tell you for myself, and I know that the whole board will agree, that we will support you 110% in whatever you do to move forward with this. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for being here tonight. But more importantly, thank you for the passion and the dedication that you show, sharing your talent, because I know that each and every one of you has tremendous talent, in music. So thank you for sharing that with our students, the love and the passion. Thank you.
Thank you, Bertha. Israel?
Thank you. Again, thank you. Back in elementary school, I played clarinet. I currently play the bass and drums and sing, as many of you know. And I know that having music in your life makes a difference. To see the number of students, 854 students, that's a whole elementary school. Think about it. It's a whole elementary school of students with clarinets, flutes, trumpets, etc. 679 instruments being available. I like to see 1,000 instruments. And wink, wink over here. And I like to see another teacher. I like wink, wink again. And they know. I'd love to see, because this does make a difference in a student's life. Ms. Duckworth, all of you, I've seen the phenomenal jobs you guys do. I'll walk in sometimes and without even saying that I'm there and I'm listening. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And of course, when a student is learning, you'll hear the squeaks here and there, and that's part of it. But when you're an advocate, music to me made a difference in my life. I have a brother that plays the guitar, that plays the drums also. I have a sister that sings. I got a band at home. And so, like I said, wink, wink again. Would love to see 1,000 students and maybe 1,000 instruments at the next time, and another teacher being presented to being part of our elementary band program, because it is a need that we need to have. And I know Ms. Haro has a heart for this, and we will continue to support that and support you in anything that we can do. I appreciate your presentation. Thank you again for what you do with our students. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Israel. Once again, I want to take opportunity to thank each and every one of you. I do have a request. I love drum lines. And I would love to see us develop a drum line. And just throwing that out there, because I enjoyed it. I remember it from college. They were great.
Frank, you and I can do a drum line here at the board.
Oh, we can do that. Yeah. Yeah, because.
You don't want that.
Well,
Not me anyways.
yeah. So with that, I'd like to definitely invite you up so we could shake your hands and thank you personally. Thank you for everything you do. Yeah, I want to thank you for everything, for our students and everything. Thank you for all the hard work for both of you, and appreciate everything you do.
Thank you.
Okay, let's continue with our agenda. We're going to move right into item 3.2. Before we go into this, I just want to make a short comment. For years, as long as I can remember, Colton has been known for their athletics and their sports. The domination of a variety of different sports, football, track, baseball. Now we're looking at our domination that is going to be in the field of soccer. With that said, I could think of quite a few individuals who had made a huge impact on Cone High School sports over the years. We actually have one that's sitting in the back, Mr. Pope, quarterback, Cone High School. Enjoyed watching him play many years ago. Just to name one of many. Oftentimes when I would talk to opponents, they would tell me every time they got off the freeway at Rancho and they drove by the overhang bridge and they saw Cone High School, they started to get nervous and sweat because they knew they were in for something, a good game. They knew that they were in for it. So with that being said, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite our principal, Mr. Abbott, so he could introduce our Cone High School boys soccer team.
Mr. Ibarra, thank you for that. Good evening to our members of Board of Education, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, Executive Cabinet, community, families, friends, and of course our students. I have the proud privilege tonight to introduce to you our boys varsity soccer team at Colton High School. I would like to say to everyone in the room that our boys showed each and every day, week in and week out. They displayed the grit and the heart that permeates our Colton community. And at this time, I'd like to bring to the podium our head coach, Mr. Jose Rubalcaba.
Hello. I want to start off by thanking the school board, our executive cabinet, our superintendent for recognizing our boys. We had a great season. It started with an enigma. I didn't know what was going to happen this year. We came from not winning a game last season to winning a Citrus Hill tournament, taking league, and having all league players and MVP. So I want to thank everybody that supported us, Mr. Abbott, for giving me a second chance and not firing me after first season. I want to thank my wife for not closing the doors on me after spending so much time with the boys. I know she got jealous, but it's okay. Season's over. So at this point, I want to introduce our 4 league players, which are Julio Soberanes, team captain. Manuel Alonso. Miguel Marcelo. And Carlos Alberto. And I want to present to you our league MVP, Yair Rodriguez. So I just want to say that I was blessed to have this group of boys. I'm really thankful to all my seniors for taking that leadership inside and out of the field, helping me out with the practices and keeping the boys in line. I'm sorry they were late today. They would have been running laps if we were on the field, but no, they're not ready, not today. Okay, so I'm just looking for next season. We're already looking into how we're gonna improve our soccer program. I'm working with my assistant coaches, and I'm just getting ready. You know, our season just finished, but I'm already getting ready for the next one. Thank you all.
I'd like to offer our congratulations to each and every one of you, coach, players, league MVP. That's a great honor, along with every other accolade and award that each and every one of you have received during this year. I think it's a special time when a group of individuals can work together, sweat together, sometimes cry together to reach a goal that ultimately takes you to the top of your league, of the section, and being number one is something that nobody can take away from you. So just want to offer you our congratulations. These are memories that you will always have. You'll 10 years down the road, when you all split your separate ways, when you see each other, every time you see each other, one of the first things that will pop in your mind is the moments that you played together and that you won together. So remember that. Special times, and I'm glad that each and every one of you had an opportunity to experience that during this year. Once again, you know, take opportunity and to thank your coach, because I do understand how important it is to get the support of the spouse. Been there, done that, and to support what you've done. And we as a district appreciate your hard work and what you've done for our young men there at Cone High School and for their accomplishments. At this time, I'd like to ask any board members. Israel, please.
Yes, you guys got the look, man. The hair, everything. You guys all look like soccer players. So, how many of you can want to continue this as a profession, as a soccer profession? That's good. Your dream is there. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Because a lot of times we'll say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to continue," but then other things happen. Even if other things happen, guys, continue to dream. Continue to dream to become that professional soccer player. Because that day that I watch you on at the World Cup for the team of Argentina, or whoever you're going to be part of, Mexico or Guatemala, whatever, I'm going to say, I was there when we recognized these students. I want to say that. Continue that dream. And for those that are not going to continue this, like Mr. Ibarra said, this is a memory. This is a memory of being numero uno, number one. I congratulate each and every one of you for your efforts and what you've done, because it's not easy, guys. It's not easy. I know your coach has to go through a lot to make sure you guys are ready to fight, ready to play, because it is a competitive sport. And you're going to get kicked and everything. I used to play soccer back in the day, but I couldn't do it. I played football instead, the other one. But continue to do what you do, guys. You guys are seniors this year. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Coach, thank you, sir. Done a great job with these kids. God bless you guys.
Thank you, Israel. Any other comments, Bertha? Just congratulations to you guys. I believe we do have certificates to hand out to each and every player here in recognition of your achievements, your hard work. Some of you, I don't know if there's any seniors among some of you. You've been playing for several years, and to come back from last year to achieve what you did this year was incredible. So just want to make sure that you guys understand the magnitude of what you have been able to accomplish. And one thing too, you've made our district, your high school, your parents, the community very proud. So thank you very, very much. And if you'd like, please, we'd like to shake your hands. Keep up the good work this year. All right. Our next item, 3.3. I think we're in for a bit of a treat at this time. We have some award-winning students that have followed the tradition of Bloomington High School virtual enterprise competition. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to see the best of the best. Yes, yes, we are. So without further ado, I'd like to invite Principal Roman to the podium. Are you here? No? Okay. So let me invite your instructor, Mrs. Buckles.
On? Oh, wait. Valerie, how do you turn this on? Right there. Okay, hello. I've been up here a few times. First of all, I'd like to say thank you, board members, Superintendent Dr. Miranda, for inviting us once again. I've been up here quite a few times, and everybody knows the waterworks come down. So we're not going to do that tonight, because I always stand up here and also say it's not about me, it's about the kids. So we're going to go ahead and get them started. But you are in for a treat tonight.
I'm gonna just test out the clicker just to see how it works. Yes.
Right now, we're going to start off by reminding you of some advice or tips you may have heard as a young adult, partygoer, or college student. Madison.
Don't accept a drink from a stranger and cover your drink with your hand.
Delilah. Never leave a drink unattended and don't accept a drink you didn't see get poured or opened by the person handling it.
Jesse.
Stick with friends while always looking out for each other.
This is a lot to remember for someone who just wants to attend a social gathering.
Which will soon be us.
Exactly. Hello, my name is Isabella Murillo and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Social Shield. We are putting you on the path to safety. With me here is my incredible team.
Hi, I'm Valerie, COO.
Good afternoon. I'm Madison, CFO.
Hello, I'm Jesse, CIO.
And I am Delilah, CMO.
In November of 2022, a viral Facebook group was started by Melanie Hubbard in order to protect consumers of the dangers of having their drinks spiked with illegal drugs. Police in Boston issued a safety warning following more allegations of victims having their drinks spiked with dangerous drugs. And of course, being drugged can lead to being taken.
Yes, it can. Being proactive starts with our chemical detecting straws that can detect date rape drugs such as GHB or fentanyl. These can then be followed by the use of our Bluetooth alert bracelets that are designed to indicate when you are in need of immediate help following being drugged. These can prevent the dangers of consuming a spiked drink and being abducted. We young adults will soon be at the age where we get to experience a night out with friends. However, this is daunting to think about, considering that 2 in 5 of those aged between 18 to 24, also known as Gen Z, know someone who has been spiked, including themselves.
And it is also daunting to think about being abducted, completely against your will, knowing your friends have no idea what's going on. With all this advice given, there are still times when Gen Z consumers will have that lapse in judgment, which causes a problem.
The most common means of control over abducted victims are physical restrictions of free movement, which can happen when drinks are spiked. In fact, in recent years, there have been studies generated on these cases.
It has been approximated that almost 25 million people are being trafficked worldwide. This is a huge problem, especially for us young Gen Z consumers who are getting ready to enter the real world.
There are ways to alert those consumers by equipping them with 2 items. Our chemical detecting straw that can raise awareness when a drink is spiked, and alert bracelets, vibrating bracelets that notify through Bluetooth when help is needed immediately.
A short-term goal is to optimize product pricing while keeping expenses low. This will show our customers that we care about their safety.
Long-term milestones are to prevent 2 dangers from happening: consuming a spiked drink and being abducted. Now, partnering with colleges and universities by placing vending machines around campuses for the straws and supplying bookstores with bracelets will assist Social Shield by staying financially stable. Social Shield is filed as an S corporation located within Flemington, California. We have chosen the S corporation in order to minimize the burden of paying taxes and instead distribute funds to shareholders such as us. Our products, the chemical detecting straws and Bluetooth alert bracelets, place our company within the safety and security market industry, which leads us right into our mission: to alert consumers of the possible dangers that may occur during their social outing.
Here at Social Shield, we are lucky to have an experienced CEO to lead us on this mission. Within our organization, we have 5 chiefs that oversee the respective departments and conduct weekly meetings. At these meetings, our HR department decided to add an inflation tips and tricks segment to the beginning of our HR manual.
We chiefs recently discussed our strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Here's what it entails.
Having an experienced CEO along with employees in the business and entrepreneurship pathway are internal strengths. Weaknesses exist within any company, and early on, our company lacked collective communication skills by using I instead of we. Also, we do have a few employees who are very new to the business world.
But we will persevere even with our weaknesses. Opportunities we have are to develop partnerships with colleges and universities, then onto expanding our product line.
Now, threats are inevitable and must be considered. A couple of threats consist of competitors that are already established and customer error, which could deter them from purchasing again. Speaking of competitors, we do have 2 direct ones within the Virtual Enterprise Hub. We have Sip and Save for our straws and S Jewels for our bracelets.
Right, Isabella. S-Jules is a direct competitor to our business because they carry an alert bracelet like we do. However, our product is slightly different in price and style while having the same Bluetooth alert effect. Sip and Save is our direct competitor for our chemical detecting straw. Their straw's purpose is to detect drugs within drinks similar to us, but they're using a metal straw with an attachment while we are only paper-based. Furthermore, our plan to combat the current economy through reasonable cost and product bundles will set us apart from our current competitors.
Inflation has caused prices to jump in the past year due to a number of factors, including billions of dollars spent in government stimulus spending, COVID-19 related bottlenecks, and more recently, the impact of the Ukrainian war on energy supplies.
Social Shield lies within the global smart personal safety and device market. This market size is at $8.74 billion with a compound annual growth rate at 13.6%, all forecasted within the time frame of 2020 to 2030.
Exactly. The constant growth of this market can be attributed to the fact that our products are autonomous and easy to use, especially for our main target market, college students. Partygoers are also a target market of ours. The prime age of these two categories is 18 to 24.
Social Shield resides in Bloomington, California, located in San Bernardino County. College students, partygoers, and young adults are all within the age range that is vulnerable to being victims of drink spiking and addiction. Therefore, Social Shield believes they will benefit from our product line, especially with our reasonable costs.
Social Shield has two products which correspond with each other. Our chemical detecting straw is made of paper-based materials that contain tiny fibers which biodegrade when a GHB, fentanyl, or any day rate drug is detected. Once the consumer tries to take a sip of their drink and notices that their straw is disintegrated, they know that their drink is spiked. We are currently FDA waiting. We use the fentanyl test strips as our guideline for approval.
Then there is our alert bracelets, which are paired through Bluetooth. Small, unique, and stylish bracelets that have a button that can be pushed when a customer feels endangered. For example, once the button is pushed, not tapped, but pushed, the other paired bracelet will vibrate.
So, if I am the other paired bracelet and I feel the vibration, I know that my friend is in need of immediate help. These sell for $49.99 in a pack of one and $80 in a pack of two. Within our placement, we project our online sales to be the most profitable, coming in at around 50% of our total profit, followed closely with our direct sales at 42%. As of now, trade shows are expected to be our least projected profit resource, coming in at around 7%.
Social media is the forefront of Social Shield. Through our Instagram account, we have established mutual contacts with other virtual firms from all over the world.
As we post, we anticipate connecting with an influencer that can assist with spreading the name Social Shield. When consumers hear our name, they'll think safety and protection, and hopefully think this prior to attending any social gathering.
Trust is a big factor when it comes to purchasing any products, and something we hope to attain amongst our customers. A study done in 2021 by the Harvard Business Review found that 80% of consumers consider trust as a deciding factor in their buying decisions. Since ages 18 and 24 are our main target market, and the Age Act gathers more information from social platforms, we will have a strong marketing campaign consisting of researched and processed facts that is a solution to our trust factor risk. College start dates will be a time period where our social media presence will persuade consumers to make a purchase of our chemical protecting straws and Bluetooth alert bracelets.
Social Shield broke even in January 2023 by achieving $200,000 in revenue. This is equivalent to selling 3,846 units with an average selling price of $52.
Our summary and profit loss sheet shows our revenues generated and expenses incurred over the past 6 months. This shows a 68% gross profit as of April 30th, 2023.
Social Shield's starting funds consisted of $20,000 seed money, along with the Chief's own funds of $5,000 each. This was followed by a virtual enterprise loan of $100,000.
Thanks, Delilah. Our balance sheet also shows us balancing at around $400,000 as of February 2023.
As we close this presentation, you all may be thinking about someone that could benefit from Social Shield's chemical detecting straws and Bluetooth alert bracelets.
Someone who is around the age range of 18 to 24, like us, who is getting ready to enter the real world.
Remember, with all the advice given in our opening, there are still times when consumers will have that lapse in judgment, but with your help,
Either by investing or becoming a customer,
we know that Social Shield will thrive when alerting, detecting, or protecting is needed.
Social Shield, putting you on the path to safety. We thank you for your time, as we are now open for questions.
Okay, yeah.
Excellent, excellent. Enjoyed that thoroughly. Um, Pat?
Wow. Every time we hear a presentation from the virtual enterprise, it's always amazing. I just want to thank you for the presentation. I want to thank your teacher. And I wanted to read something that both Mr. Ibarra and I, and as well as Mr. Fuentes, who's an alternate, we are on the CRIRUP board. And we received a letter from a former virtual enterprise student. And I think it's important for you to also hear part of it. I won't read the whole letter because it's a whole page. It says, a student success story from a 2017 Bloomington High School graduate and former virtual enterprise student. Virtual Enterprise International gifted me the foundations necessary for the rest of my life. I was a Virtual Enterprise International student from 2015 to 2017. And I am now a senior financial analyst with Sony Pictures Entertainment. I don't know about you, but that gave me chills. This program has taught me the amount of rigor and preparation that goes into building something worth meaning. As I said, I won't read the whole letter, but I wanted to read that paragraph to you so that you realize what you are learning in this class. These are skills that are going to take you so far. Others before you have succeeded, obviously, and there are others we have heard about who have succeeded after, but this one wrote a letter, so it was really cool. But I just want to thank you and for the presentation, and I want to thank your teacher as always, because she's amazing. I know you already know that, and she's amazing with what she does for you. I know she puts a lot of time into it, and so thank you again for your presentation.
Thank you, Pat. Bertha?
This presentation is always a highlight, and when I saw it on the agenda, I knew we were all in for a treat, and you did not disappoint. We're just gleaming with pride. We're so proud of each and every one of you for what you're doing, and thank you, your teacher, for the guidance. I love your confidence. I love the research that's involved in all this. I just love everything of it. Great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Bertha. Israel?
What can I say? I was there when you guys presented it to me, and now the final. I mean, wow. Ms. Buckles, wow. I had the opportunity to go to Mrs. Buckles' classroom when they first started presenting this, and gave them some pointers and stuff, but just to listen to your guys' power of presenting, the passion, the heart of the work. I'm looking through the slides here, and the presentation, phenomenal. I'm gonna start crying, but sorry, man, I get emotional because when I see success, I see success. You heard the letter that Ms. Harrell read, how that impacted this student back in 2015, 2017. And now she's a senior financial analyst with Sony Pictures. I want to hear that success story from each and every one of you, because you are a success. Today, we've had three high schools present today. And man, this morning, and I'll talk a little bit about this later, but this morning, Dr. Miranda and I, we were panelists for a student advisory panel for the county superintendent of schools. And today for me has been a phenomenal day of impactful, young, ready students. And to be able to continue that day, I'm going to start getting teary-eyed here because I see success. And when I shake your hand, I feel it. Thank you. Thank you for for taking that time. I want to thank the parents, if you're here, for taking the time to invest in your child. A lot of kids would want to have that. And some kids can't for certain reasons, but they're here. I applaud you, mom and dad, grandma, whoever you are, the guardian. I applaud you, Ms. Buckles. I applaud you. My hat off to all of you because you did a great job and you are winners and you will always be winners. Thank you.
Thank you, Israel. I do have a question, and you could choose or you could all answer it. The topic that you presented on, how did that come about? How was that decision made, and how long did it take you to put it all together?
I apologize. I don't think we had the proper opportunity to introduce ourselves, but we are part of the business pathway at Bloomington High School, and we are part of the virtual enterprise program. So for the members of the audience that aren't exactly familiar with what we do, we basically run virtual businesses, and they're based off of a student-created product. So this year, our product consists of chemical detecting straws and Bluetooth alert bracelets, and our company name is titled Social Shield. And this idea came about in the very beginning of the year in August, and we were discussing ideas of what, I guess, problems that we really wanted to target. And something I've noticed with, I guess, my experience in virtual enterprise, the products that usually do the best are the ones that are relevant to today's issues. And Valerie here brought up a very important issue in today's world, and just as society progresses, we know that this will continue to be an issue. But just the safety of young adults and Gen Z consumers and just partygoers, especially as the party scene is now beginning to expand, and now as a lot of us are going to enter the college world, we knew that we wanted to have a product that would keep us safe at all times. So that was sort of the root of our product. So we did create this product, and we do have prototypes. But the main purpose of this program is to go on to create an entire presentation off of it. And so basically, we do have our slideshow. We weren't able to get completely through it, but we also have our oral presentation, which you guys saw. We also have a written plan, which is continuing to be worked on. And we start off with competing at Redlands at the CryRop Center. And we did very well there. So we were able to move on to the Bakersfield competition, which was towards the end of January of this year. That was probably one of the most tense moments. Very intense competition compared to Redlands, but we persevered. We did very, very well there. And we got the news that we're going to be competing in New York City in April.
Yes.
We want to thank you guys for this opportunity, of course. I want to thank our teacher, Ms. Buckles, for teaching us everything we know. And just for supporting us and giving us the confidence and just pushing us every day to work hard and stay focused. And I want to thank my teammates as well for, sticking together. We've been through a lot as a team, and there's no one I'd rather go to New York with than with them. I want to thank all the board members for supporting us and, allowing us to continue with this program, because I know that without this program, I'd be pretty lost, considering that, I want to continue doing this for the rest of my life. I want to be involved in business, and I'm sure a lot of the other chiefs in this program, as well as students in this program, want to now be involved in the business world. So yeah, I'm just very grateful for this opportunity. I want to thank the members of the audience, our parents, our families, our friends, and everyone for supporting us, because this program has really done a lot for us, and I know that it will take us far. So thank you.
Thank you for that. I just want to add to what my colleague Pat Harrell said. NBC News, attorney at law, medical doctor, practicing in Hawaii right now. Just 3 that I could think of that actually performed with the virtual enterprise that are out there over the years. Now, I've been part of the board for many years, so I've seen many students do very well after they graduate from school. I'd like to see do you have any parents, siblings here? Are there any parents of these students here? Please stand. Please stand. We want to offer you our congratulations along with your students, your children, for a wonderful job and accomplishing what they have been able to do to this point. I know that New York is an exciting adventure and a great opportunity for them as individuals. And it wouldn't happen if they didn't have your support. So just like my colleague, Mr. Fuentes mentioned, it's so important to have parental support. And one of the things that I like to always put out there is that we need to let the parents know the wonderful programs that we offer here in the district. This is one of our many wonderful programs. I'd like to ask Mrs. Buckles to please stand. Let's give her a round of applause for many years of service here. So with that, I'd like to please invite everyone to please come up and shake our hands. Job. Enjoy New York. Enjoy New York. Wonderful job. Enjoy New York. Enjoy New York. You guys deserve that trip. Yes. Congratulations. Yes. Oh, Gurney. Oh, great.
Have them come back?
If,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Can we do a, no, we should, yeah, you guys want to do a picture?
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, I think. No,
Wait,
Miss Orloff, we.
Okay. No, no. No. Shoot, how is my enemy started? All right. Okay, let's get back to business. That was enjoyable, I tell you. We shouldn't have too much fun here, huh? Okay, item 4.1 is announcement regarding public comment for items on the agenda or items not on the agenda. By bylaws 9323 states that individual speakers shall be allowed 3 minutes to address the board on each agenda or non-agenda item. The board shall limit the total time for public input on each item to 15 minutes. With board consent, the president may increase or decrease the time allowed for public presentation. Depending on the topic and the number of persons wishing to be heard, the president may take a poll of speakers for or against a particular issue and may ask the additional person speak only if they have something new to add. Miss Lisa Villa, please.
Hello, I'm Lisa, and I'm from Colton. Good evening, Board President, Doreen Ojeda, Board Members, Superintendent, Dr. Miranda, and members of the audience. In honor of lentil season, I'm gonna not be negative today, I'm gonna say positive things. I'd like to give a shout out to Dr. Ortiz, who always takes time to listen to me, lets me vent, lets me speak my piece, and even though things might not change, he still seems genuine and caring and willing to listen and willing to make a change, and I appreciate that. I want him to know that. I'm glad that he is a member of the district, willing to be part of the change that we need. I also wanted to give another shout out to Mr. Abbott, who is also willing to listen to me, make changes, and let me have some input because I am an actual Yellow Jacket parent. If some of you don't know me, I know you see me as complaining parent, a complaining employee, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been working here for 33 years, impacting lives. I love my community. As you know, I named my son Colton. He's about to graduate, and I'm very proud of him, as well as my whole family. I am a nursing assistant. I work at Redlands Community, and I've been working there for 5 years. I work graveyard. I love my patients. I'm a caring person. So you know, I'm a good person. I'm not just negative Nancy up here. I rescue animals. I currently have 6 rescue dogs that live with me. I have 20 grandchildren who come to Colton School Districts from Bloomington all the way to Grand Terrace side. So they are in this district, 20 up and coming. Although I have one son that's about to graduate, I have 20 coming through. So I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. So I just want to wish everyone a good spring break, happy Easter, and take care.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Villa. Okay, I believe, Joanne, any other cards? No? Thank you very much. So we're going to go ahead and move on. We're looking at 5.0, which are administrative presentations. At this time, we're going to take a look at 5.1, home to school transportation funding presentation. And if I could please invite our Assistant Superintendent, Mr. Fromm.
Good evening. This is going to be tough to follow up what we've just seen. This has been a great night here, the celebration of all the students' success. I talked to Dr. Brandon there. I was like, I was ready to invest. He had to tell me it wasn't a real corporation. I was like, they're making that much money? We're going to hire him here. Woo! Happy cries, happy tears tonight. So tonight, first presentation from me. I only have 28 slides on each one of them. No, just kidding. First one is I'm going to present on the home to school transportation funding. Next slide, please. So in June, the governor approved AB 181, which is a trailer bill from the Learning Recovery Emergency Fund. As you know, the state last year adopted a historic budget of $300 million, where $110 billion of that is going to schools and education. Next slide. This is the largest enhancing of funding for home to school transportation in recent history. The final budget provided $637 million of ongoing funding for Prop 98 for home to school transportation. It's an increase to the local educational agencies LCF as an add-on. And what it will do is it will recoup 60% of our transportation funding that we expended last year. Next slide, please. California Educational Code says that we have to develop a plan. So that's why we're here tonight to present the plan. So every year we will bring a plan to you before the 1st of April for our transportation for home to school and all of our students that transport via buses to school. Next slide, please. The transportation plan has 4 requirements. There must be a description of the transportation services we're going to offer to our students. 2, there must be a description of how our unduplicated students will be able to access our home-to-school transportation at no cost. And the plan shall be developed with consultation from various stakeholders, just like we do for the LCAP. This plan will be presented every year to you before the 1st of April for your approval. Next slide. In 2022, 2023 Budget Act, we will be getting equal to 60% of our expenses from the previous year, and we will invest them back into the transportation department. The current budget does not provide additional funding or separate funding for special education transportation, however. Next slide. So we're bringing forward to you a 2-year plan today, a plan for this year, 22-23, and then for 23-24. Just briefly, currently we have 55 routes and we transport over 3,000 students on a daily basis. Next slide, please. The next slide is the transportation plan for this year, and the slide we just presented is next year, and it's the same data as of right now. Next slide, please. So this is the important one here. Our 60% of our expenses is about $3.6 million. From that, we'll subtract the 800,000 plus that we got as a transportation add-on, and we're expected to receive back close to $2.8 million in reimbursement from our 21-22 budget from expenses, which we will put back into the transportation program. Thank you. And is there any questions?
Any questions from any board members? Israel?
On the slide that says that, note that the allowance will reduce, oh no, wrong one. The current budget act does not provide funding for our special education. Do we have funding that will help bus our students or transport our special education students, or is there something being allocated for that?
We don't have separate, so it's allocated from our normal funding. So yeah, so what this says is they're not giving a separate allocation for special
Oh,
ed.
okay.
So
I just wanted
this
to
money will
make
be
that
used
clear.
for transportation for all students, special ed and general ed.
Okay, perfect. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? At this time, I know that over the course of time, we've increased the walking distance for students from pickup and drop off from homes. Have we taken a look at making it a little bit more shorter walks, or we're still going to keep the distance that students have to travel to get to the bus the same for this next couple of years?
We currently haven't changed the board policy on that, but if that's something you're interested in us pursuing, we could come back and report on that.
Okay, just, it's a question and something that I will discuss with our superintendent. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you're on next.
I'm up again. I'm going to
Yes, please.
invite up my co-partner, Maria Amanda, to help us present our second interim report. We're going to tag team this. So, next presentation. This one, there's only 58 slides. Oh, so today we're here to present to you the second interim for our 22-23 school year. Next slide, please. So the second interim report provides all of our stakeholders with a snapshot of our district's financial status through the end of January of 2023, with projections through the end of June. Due to the timing of this interim report, this does not, any of our reports that we put up here does not reflect the recent settlement agreements and compensation increases. Those will appear when we adopt our budget for 23-24. And that. In here, we update our enrollment and our attendance and our multi-year projections, along with updated cash flow as well. Next slide, please. We skip one? Can we go back one? Okay, certification. So there's 3 ways that we can certify. You can get a positive certification, which means we will be able to meet our financial obligations in the current plus 2 years out. When you hear me speak throughout the years, I'm always going to talk current plus 2. And that's just the lens and the words we talk about when we're talking about fiscal and budgets and multi-year projections. You can go qualified, which means you may not be able to meet your current obligations, or you can go negative, which means you will not be able to meet it. I'm proud to announce we have a positive certification for our second interim report, which means that we will be able to meet all of our financial obligations in this current year and the projected 2 years out. Next slide, please.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Miranda, executive cabinet, staff members, and community members. It's my pleasure to be here tonight to present on the district's second interim report. Since first interim, revenues have increased by 1.9 million. 1 million of this increase is seen in the district's LCFF revenue, mostly in the LCAP supplemental and concentration portion. And this increase is due to an increase in the unduplicated pupil percentage. The remaining increase is due to additional revenues in restricted resources. Next slide, please.
So here we have the pie of all the money that we receive on both sides, unrestricted and restricted, where 66% of it, a little bit more than that, is LCFF funding. 16.1% comes from the federal funding, 13.4% from other state revenues, and then 3.8% of it is local revenues. Next slide, please.
All right. Since first interim, expenditures increased by 2 million due to an increased spending in restricted resources, primarily in the areas of extra duty pay and professional development activities. Next slide, please.
This slide will show us where we're spending our dollars in our combined funding. When I say combined, I mean our unrestricted and restricted funds and that. Now, this is a little misleading this year because we have a lot of one-time dollars and ESSER 1, 2, and 3 funding in there that shows a big amount of dollars to spend and that, which normal years we wouldn't have all that in the restricted fund and that. But 30% of our dollars combined funding is set to go towards certificate salaries, 12% to classified salaries, 22.3% to employee benefits, 17% to books and supplies. Now, when you hear the books and supplies tab, it's not always books and supplies that go in there. There's a lot of different things like gasoline and different things like that. So the state really needs to look at changing the title of that because it gets confusing when we just say books and supplies. Other operating expenses close to 15%, 2.7% for capital outlay, and another 1% for other outgo. Next slide, please. Our budget is built off of assumptions and its projections on the year out. So our enrollment projections for this year is 19,296 students. Next year, it's going down to 18,842, and in 2024, 18,646. And our ADA, even though it is going up a little bit, our enrollment is still going down. Now, I just want to point out, California is one of only 6 states that still fund you based on kids showing up, not on students enrolled, but we have to staff our schools as everyone is going to be enrolled. So that's something the state of California is still behind on. We need to work with our state politicians to get that to change because it's really hard to staff a school with funding on only the percentage of kids that show up because we have to staff it based on enrollment and all of them showing up and that. So as we move forward, as our enrollment is going down, we have to make sure, and we're doing a great job of doing it currently, as we are aligning our employee expenses with our enrollment. One of the symbols I show is the alligator. So your enrollment's going down, your employee expenses have to parallel that. If it does not, you'll have a big gap like this and it'll eventually unsustainable and beat you up on the alligator net. But we're doing a great job right now paralleling those expenses. And that next slide, please.
This chart illustrates the multi-year projections for the current year and the 2 subsequent fiscal years. Revenues are projected to increase in the out years due to the expiration of one-time funding and also declining enrollment and ADA. Expenses are also projected to decrease due to the expiration of one-time funding. However, please keep in mind that these projections do not include the negotiated salary increases. Next slide, please.
This slide represents our multi-year projections just on the unrestricted side now, because that's the side we really look at. That's the side that drives us in our decision makings and that. So you can see our projections across this year through 2024. Go down to restricted contributions. So we get our dollars in at almost 280 million, and then we have to make a contribution over to restricted programs. Mainly it's special ed, and then our routine restricted maintenance, which is a requirement. We have to set aside 3% of our expenses in that area. Now, this is not unique to just Colton, that the government does not give us enough to self-fund special ed, that we have to make a contribution to it. And that it's a problem throughout the whole state. And we actually, though, for the size of Colton, we're doing a really good job in terms of how much we have to contribute to special ed from the unrestricted side. So kudos to that. Next slide, please.
This chart illustrates the components of ending fund balance for the current year and the 2 subsequent years. The district is projected to meet the required 3% reserve in each of the years. In 22-23, the projected ending fund balance is 83.6 million, 30 million of which is for restricted programs. In 23-24, the projected ending fund balance is 87.5 million, 28 million of which is for restricted programs. And in 24-25, the projected ending fund balance is 81.4 million, 20.5 million of which is for restricted programs. Again, please keep in mind that this does not include the negotiated salary increases. Next slide, please.
The next slide just shows other various funds we have here and their ending fund balance from adult ed through child development, nutrition, and all the way down to self-insurance. And all, as you can see, all of them ending with a positive fund balance. Next slide, please.
So some upcoming events, we have the Governor's May Revise on May 19th, followed by the 23-24 LCAP and budget hearing on June 16th. And then finally, the 23-24 LCAP and budget adoption on June 29th. Next slide, please.
Any questions?
Thank you very much. Any questions from board? Bertha, please.
Yes, thank you. Budgeting is always, can be intimidating and complicated. And I don't have a question. I just want to say thank you for presenting this in such a clear way for us and, in a positive certification. That's wonderful. So just thank you. Thank you, Amanda Sutterby and great, Mr. Frum. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Bertha. Israel, any questions?
No questions, just a thank you also. Thank you. Great presentation, great, excuse me, great spread. All the information is clear. Excuse me. And just thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Israel. Pat? My question is, how well are we doing with our Saturday programs? How is attendance? And how is it reflective on the budget at this point in time of the school year?
I don't have that data for you, but I can get that, bring that back to you. Just explain a little bit how we.
Yes, our staff do collect reports on a monthly basis. We work closely with student services to gather that information. Like Rick said, I don't have the information with me at the moment, but we can definitely gather it for you.
Now, are we still offering Saturday school? I know we do it at Colton and at all 3 high schools.
Absolutely.
Have we ever considered, how about the middle schools?
Actually, Saturday school is at all our school sites.
At every school?
Every school site
So-
in the district.
Okay, so with that being said, then I think that it'd be interesting to take a look at what type of attendance is actually occurring and how is it reflecting into our budget as far as making up, since you mentioned that they still look at ADA and so forth. So just a curiosity, see.
I will add, if I'm sorry, Greg, I apologize. I will add that we've seen a significant amount of attendance at Saturday school because we offer more. So we monitor that in cabinet. But I don't have the specific number, so I don't want to throw out a number, but I've seen a significant increase this year in Saturday school attendance. And that's because, frankly, we have made it mandatory for our sites to offer at all the sites. And so we've seen that across the board. But we'll get that data for the board so that you can see those, the numbers, and we monitor that pretty closely.
Well, question for you, Mr. Superintendent, is as far as Saturday school, do we periodically remind parents that it's available for their students? And if we do, how do we do that?
Absolutely. I know the sites do an incredible job of doing that through their notifications, letters, social media. I mean, and I see that our principals out there shaking their heads. So constant reminder, Instagram. And then you do also through the through Q, communique. So there's at least, if I can count, 3 to 4 methods of communication to our parents. Word of mouth, which is critical too. So there's a lot of communication going on with our Saturday school programs.
And I concur with that because I do have a student at Bloomington High School and I get it 4 different ways. So
No, that's wonderful.
yeah, so we do get the communication is out there to our
We're on
parents.
top of this. and
Yes.
Making sure.
I have just a question on.
Yes, Bertha.
I have a question on declining enrollment. Yeah, we're at, I think, approximately 20,000 right now, but then your projection was going down to 18,800 and then 18,600. And I don't know if we've ever seen this kind of a decline of enrollment. And my question is this across California? Is it in specific areas in California? Are we an exception?
We are not an exception. Basically, the majority of the state of California is pockets of areas where they're growing, they're building homes and stuff like that. State is in decline.
Thank you.
It's not unique to Fulton. And we have our own challenges though, with the warehouses, they're coming in and sometimes parents move and that makes it go down a little bit more. So there's work to be done there to try to get those families to stay and things like that as well. But that's a challenge that every district is really facing. So that's why these awesome programs that we have here, we need to get that information out, continue to get that out.
Yes.
Yes, so we attract people that don't live in Colton that want to come to Colton Joint Unified School District. We're in the age now of get your message, get your brand out there and people will come, right? Parents want to participate in championship sports teams, right? They'll bring their kids here, championship band program, get that stuff out there, market that stuff to bring more students in and the students that are enrolled, keep them here and get them to school because the more they come to school on a daily basis, that raises our ADA and that's what drives up.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Bertha. And you took the words out of my mouth. I was going to mention that just right now. You had mentioned earlier about approaching our state legislature on certain line items that, could probably benefit not only our district, but other districts. Have we thought about approaching, because we do have the Speaker of the House to Assembly, just right here, Eloise Gomez, and maybe powwowing with her, since she's a really good friend of Colton. She's a Colton graduate. And I think that, and maybe getting some kind of private audience with her, so to speak, and outlining some of these areas that we feel that maybe they need to be aware of since they're not part of education and have the great knowledge that we have as a whole. I think that would probably be something that we should at least try to do. So, okay.
We'll definitely reach out to her office. Mr. Fuentes and I, we have the privilege of serving on SANDEBS, and that's advocates for the county. And this is an issue that comes up regularly, attendance, decline enrollment. And there's bills in the legislature currently that are trying to address this systemic, statewide issue. And there's like, that we monitor. And so we'll definitely have our eye on it because again, this is a statewide issue. And the numbers are startling, across the board, but it's something we're advocating but I appreciate your, and we know, the Assembly Member, Eloise Reyes is a Colton person too, so we'll definitely reach out to her office and see if we can have a conversation with her.
And we may also, yes.
Yeah.
All the other states that don't do it, kids come to school when they know they're going to require care about them. Great instruction in the classroom. That's how.
And that's exactly what we need to do to educate these Assembly and Senate. Connie Leva being another person. I'm looking at it in a way such that when election time does come around, they like to be visible around our schools for their purpose. We need to utilize their pool for our purpose. So I would highly recommend we do that. And if we do, I'll be happy to be present on that.
Curious, how many states do it the way California does?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions? With that, I'd like to thank both of you for the wonderful presentation. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. We're in our 6.0 action session. There are items 6.1 through 6.38. At this time, I would entertain a motion for approval unless any individual board member is looking to pull an item out for separate consideration. Give you a second to just take a look at it if that's something you need to do. Okay, I do have a motion by Iswell Fuentes, and I believe second by Pat Harrell, to approve line items 6.1 through 6.38. At this time, does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns relative to these items? Not hearing any? Let's go for the vote. All those in favor of 6.1 through 6.38 as presented to the Board of Education indicate by stating aye.
Aye.
Anyone oppose? Anyone abstain? 4-0, those items pass. Okay. All right. All right. We're looking at administrative reports. There are line items 7.2, approval of disbursements. 7.2, the results of the San Bernardino County Superintendent Schools Williams settlement visit for the second quarter. Any questions relative to those two line items? Not hearing any. Let's move on to 7.3, facility update. Is Owen here? No. Oh, there he is. Nothing today. Okay. All right. Nothing you'd like to add? Okay. All right. Okay, it gives me great pleasure to ask our great president from ACE, Christina Perauchi, and she has no comment. She's sitting there with a big smile on her face. Okay, what about CSEA update? No update? Good, thank you very much. MAC update? Okay, wow, wow. 3 for 3 so far. But I think we'll stop right here, ROP update, and I'd like to ask Ms. Harrell to begin.
Just a few things from our CRIROP meeting for CJUSD highlights. We had 14 nurse assistant students from the Colton School District pass their state licensure test, which is really, really cool. They can go out and get a job as a nursing assistant. So this is wonderful. We had 3 students in our welding pathway at Colton High School advance to the Skills USA California State Leadership and Skills Conference. They go in a couple weeks. And then we had our new digital press was installed and is up and running at the print shop at Colton High School, and those kids are really excited to have that. And just the last thing I want to mention is May the 10th, 2023 at 5 p.m. is our Evening of Excellence and our Students Showcase. We highlight all of the programs that ROP does with students and staff doing different presentations. And then we end the evening with our award ceremony and our scholarships that we hand out to our students every year.
Yes.
So it's always a wonderful event. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Pat. Israel, like anything?
Yeah, if I can add, as the vice chair for the CRIROP Foundation, the one that does the event that Ms. Harrell was talking about, and our vice president here is also the chair for the CRIROP Foundation. If you haven't donated to our foundation for these scholarships, I urge you and I ask if you're able to do that, go to our website, the CRIROP website, and there is an icon there where you can donate for these scholarships. A lot of these students, they count on this money. They count on this money. They count on that $100, $500, $1,000 to pay tuition, books, etc. And a lot of these students, as you can see, we already have 14 students that are assistant nurses now, directly out of high school, graduating out of high school with an opportunity. And so if you haven't and you do have the opportunity to donate, I'm not, here to tell you do it or not, but if you do, and if we reach a goal of $10,000, I have told the board that I will shave my head. So you want to see Mr. Fuentes come here to a meeting bald? Then go ahead and donate so we can reach that goal of $10,000 because bald is beautiful, as you can see on that side over there. So, so thank you, everyone. I just urge you. And if you want, go on our website and you'll see all the great, great things that are happening through our CRIROP and our pathways and our CTE programs through CRIROP. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Very well said, both of you. On the Evening with Excellence, like to take opportunity as one of the sitting board members to invite everyone to attend. It's really, really an opportunity for our students to showcase what they've learned here in our district through CRIROP education. And the scholarships that are offered to these individuals, like Mr. Fuentes says, makes a big difference in the next stage of their academic career. So if you need to get more information, please go on the site of CRIROP and check it out. Thank you very much. With that, that ends our ROP update, and I will at this time hand over the mic to our superintendent where he's communicate.
Thank you, Board President or Vice President Ibarra and board members. Good evening, everybody, and those online too. I have a short communique. First, let me just highlight again our vision, keeping students first, achievement, equity, and wellness. You saw some great presentations tonight from our students. Thank you to all the principals, teachers, the students, they're incredible. And so with my first slide, if you can move on to the next one, I'm going to talk more about students and Mr. Fuentes alluded to this earlier, that we both participated this morning with the San Bernardino County Superintendent's Advisory Council. And what a great opportunity. It's the first time I get to participate in this event. And the goal for the advisory council that the county superintendent has, Mr. Ted Alejandre, is empowering that student voice that we talk about, encouraging civic engagement. Students presented, they participated on panels, and what they presented on was one of the 4 priority areas contained in the countywide transformation plan. And so there is a countywide vision. In that plan, a big part of it is obviously is education, access to health and wellness, economy, and safety. So we heard from many students, 9 students from Grand Terrace High School were there, and Slover. So combined 9 from Slover and Grand Terrace High School participated on these panel presentations. So Colton was heavily represented this morning. So it was great to hear from them. So these are leaders. These are, it's a great opportunity for our students, a leadership opportunity, and it's a chance really to share their insight on priorities within their communities. And their stories were unbelievable. And just your heart goes out in the passion and the problem solving. So it was just great to participate this morning. So I want to thank the County Superintendent of Schools, Mr. Ted Alejandre, who is just a visionary leader too in our county, for giving our students a voice and an opportunity to be heard on important issues impacting not just Colton, but across the county. But to be represented, I was so proud of our Grand Terrace High School students, our Slover students, for just representing our district so well. All right, so next slide, please. Music in our Schools Month. You heard a phenomenal presentation this afternoon. And again, Music in our Schools Month is this month. So we wanted to bring in our folks, our elementary band teachers to present. And as all of you know, the board last month approved a resolution adopting Music in our Schools Month. And so the district's music education program provides enrichment and is a positive influence that really contributes to our students' success. And as you heard, you know, that whole relationship and correlation between math and music. And so that's just awesome. So I want to thank all the music teachers, not just elementary, but our middle school, our high school teachers in the district, our band directors, for the study of music that they do, and they contribute to our young people's development that helps nurture language, motor skills, emotional intelligence, and collaboration skills, which is very important in the job market as they go into college and graduate. So thank you to the teachers again. That was an amazing presentation that you heard tonight. So another shout out to them. And then the last but not least slide here. I just want to take this time we're going to close our schools from March 20th through March 31st. We're not closing the whole district down, okay? So our district offices are still going to be open regular hours for our community, because we still are going to service our community, right, Executive Cabinet? So we'll be working next week. I know. But we're going to be open. Our school's going to be closed. Our teachers, our administrators, our folks deserve a break. I know that a lot of you are running on fumes, and so you deserve this break. So just please take time to rest, and then, you know, when we come back April, it's a sprint, and so to the end of the school year, so we need you rested, so on behalf of the board, and I'm sure the board will say thank all of you for the hard work so far. But on behalf of Executive Cabinet, I want to thank all the staff. You know, your passion, your support, your dedication to the education of our students is heartfelt and much appreciated. You are, we do not take you for granted for all the work you're doing, for the work for our students. We know our why, a lot of times, and the how, and we're making it happen. It's a lot. How is a lot of work, right? So we're looking forward to this next fourth quarter coming up, and then celebrating of the year together. Our graduations, promotions, all the celebrations are coming up at the end of the year. We are very much looking forward to that and end the year strong, together, and making it happen for our kids. So with that, thank you, Mr. Ibarra. I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. At this time, we'll move right into our board member comments, and I'll start off with Bertha Flores.
I want to say I'm very proud and very humbled to serve on this as a board for the school district. And that's because of the staff, because of you who's sitting in the audience, executive cabinet, principals, teachers, M&O, every department. So with that, I just want to say a big thank you to each and every department, each and every person, employee in our district. Thank you for all you do. Have a restful and a well-deserved vacation.
Thank you, Bertha. Israel.
Thank you, Vice President. I just want to share a couple things. This morning, as Dr. Miranda was saying, we had the opportunity to go out to this student advisory panel for the San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools. I was very amazed to hear the stories of these students. We had nine students. We had students from Slover and Grand Terrace High School. Amazing. They shared their heart with us. They shared their ideas with us. I was very, 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 very touched and very impressed that we continue to have very successful students in our district. They were clear, they were precise, their presentations were right on. And I just want to congratulate them if they're still listening. They had some real great topics. We had one on titled "The Dose of Death." The other one was safety in schools, ending the stigma. You're not alone. Sharing a safe space. And I think Dr. Miranda had the opportunity to talk about mental health also, post-secondary preparedness. Let's talk about food. And full stomachs, the foundation of a better future. So as you can see the topics, the title of the topics, it felt like I was sitting there with professional people as they were sharing. So I want to commend, first of all, Superintendent Ted Alejandri for his student advisory. I know we have a student advisory here at Colton Joint Unified, led by our superintendent, Dr. Miranda, and they're doing a phenomenal job. I was out at Washington also for the Women's Celebration. I spent the morning with the ladies there, and it was also phenomenal to hear as Mrs. Love, one of the counselors that was there that was leading it, she was asking him questions. What would you like to see in your school? What do you want to do when you graduate from high school? I mean, there was, things, we'd like to see a wellness room. That was one of the big ones. We want to see a wellness room at our high school. The other one was, I want to do this. I want to become a nurse. I want to get a job. So it's great to hear that they're planning on doing something as they graduate. A lot of times you'll ask a junior, so what do you think you're going to do? Well, I don't know. And a lot of times we really, really need to emphasize to the students that it is important to have a plan. And I know here at Colton, we do have that. And I know a lot of students have a plan. So it was great to be able to sit there with the young ladies and hear. I shared a little bit about, mind setting, goal setting with them as we were sitting there talking. Also had the opportunity to go to the Boys Empowerment Summit at Terrace Hills Middle School. And wow, 6 elementary schools of young men, 6th graders, in that NPR. Wasn't it loud, Dr. Miranda? It was a loud 250 plus students in there. But you know something? They were listening, they were learning. And that really impacted me. Edwin Johnson, who is the CEO of Chords, brought, he was a guest speaker. And then they got into groups to write a rap using affirmation words. So it was awesome. It was awesome. And then they had to come up and compete against each other who did a better rap. They had Edwin Johnson and Mr. Fuentes. And so we were fighting and the kids did a phenomenal job. But and to see a sixth grader participate, wow, it really touched me. So congratulations to all the elementary schools, all the sixth graders that were there. I missed the girls' summit, but it was, I'll be there at the next one. Also, they had a comedy magic show at Bloomington High School. Well, I'm sitting there enjoying the magic show and everything. And one of the guys points at me and says, "Can you come up to the front?" So I go on stage and he does his card trick where I throw the cards out there and well, first of all, I had to pick a card out of the stack. And so I picked the 4 of diamonds and I had to put it back in the stack. And then I had to throw it. And he was going to pick it out with this stick that he had. Well, sure enough, he did. So we had a great time there at Bloomington High School with the magic show. It was really cool. There was 3 guys who presented. One of them actually was, I think, a former superintendent of Redlands that was there. Yeah, as one of the magicians that was there. So that was great. I loved that. So, Mr. Fuentes is always a little kid. And then I had the opportunity to also go to Cooley Ranch, the motivation station that Nina Torres has out there. I was able to share my story with the students there. I have a group of 6th grade students. We had a great time. These kids really, really had great questions. I shared my story of where I came from, where I was born, all those things, and who motivated me as I grew up. And I was able to put pictures of my parents up there and share with them that my parents were great motivators for us. Even though my dad only had a 3rd grade education, worked in the fields picking berries, but you know something was a great motivation was my dad went back to school, got his GED, got a master's degree in theology and counseling. So you would think great motivation like that. He actually beat my brother and I and sister from getting our degrees before. So it was a great motivator. The kids were just amazed to hear the story, the mindset that you can be what you want to be if you motivate yourself. And I told them in the last slide that I put up, I said, the ultimate motivator is you. The ultimate motivator is you. And then I put a quote on there. I wanted to end with that quote, but then my phone just went blank. So I forgot what the quote is, but you can go online and check it out. I want to thank each and every one of you for coming out this evening. I know it's hard. We're going to be off for 2 weeks. Enjoy your time. Like I always say, take that adult beverage, enjoy it, have fun with it. God bless you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Israel. Pat?
Just very quickly, because I know you all want to go home. I can see it. It's like you're so close to that break. I just want to thank you for all you do, each and every one of you. We are truly blessed in this district to have some of the best people working in it, and we say that all the time. We're blessed because we know how much you care about the kids that we service, and I want to tell you that I hope you have a wonderful, well-deserved break. I know you need it, and and I unfortunately it'll go too quick, but I want to just tell you to have a great break, take care of yourself, have some me time, and we'll see you when we come back.
Thank you, Pat. And I'll conclude by also giving you the same wishes. I know that after spring break, there's a big quick slide to the end of the school year. We've all experienced it for many years, some of us. But as you're starting to think about taking these 2 weeks off tomorrow, I have to warn you guys, because your thoughts may be in maybe going to Palm Springs or Key West or the Bahamas or somewhere, home. Don't forget tomorrow. Tomorrow's the 17th, so don't forget to wear green, particularly if you're on site and there's kids around you. So I warned you, each and every one of you. So with that, I will say this. The board will now adjourn into closed session to discuss the items listed on closed session agenda. Thank you and have a safe trip home. Let's do this. All right. 8:11, the board's back in session. Okay, so let's start off with item 10.1, which is student discipline and revocation. Um, There was one student discipline item presented in closed session. Looking for a motion for approval, please. Okay, all right, so I have Mr. Fuentes and Mrs. Haro. Okay. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Abstain? 4-0. Item 11.1 passes. All right. Okay. Student ID number. Okay. So let me give it to you. Where am I? Okay. Um, okay, found it. Student ID number 1071228. Okay. Okay. 11.2, personnel public employee appointment. On a motion by Israel Fuentes and second by Bertha Flores, and carried on a 4-0 vote. The board approved the following public employees appointments: classified coaches 3, band co-ed, head junior varsity softball girls, so instead of boys, head varsity volleyball boys, softball girls, track co-ed, and volunteer general 35. Okay. And 10.3, which is public personnel public employee appointment. In closed session, on a motion by Israel Fuentes and second by Bertha Flores, and carried on a 4-0 vote. The board took action to approve the resignation agreement and general release of EIN employee 6207. Those were the actions taken in closed session. It is now 8:14. I hereby adjourn.